This video is brought to you by the 3-Minute Board Game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou and welcome to Guilty Gear in about 3 minutes. Review copy and deluxe edition used. It has no solo mode, it's a game for 2 players, playing time is short, and it's a moderately complex game. You are a fighter in a classic arcade fighting game. Only one person will be left standing at the end of the round, so fight! Each player has 30 life points tracked on the board. You win by knocking your opponent's life points to 0. Variable player powers. The game comes with 20 fighters, each with their own cards. Card management. The game focuses on playing and managing a hand of cards. Secret orders. When you play strike cards, they're placed face down. Player turn. Each player selects a fighter. Set up the board with your life trackers at the start, then place your character's Exceed card on the marked spot on the central board. You can also use the deluxe edition standees. Randomly determine who starts and draw cards. Cards come in 3 types. Normal attacks, which all players have, special attacks, which are unique to each character, and ultra attacks, which have an additional cost to play them. One core concept in the game is force, and you gain force by discarding cards. 1 point for normal and special cards, and 2 for ultra cards. On your turn, you may take 1 action. You may walk, moving 1 space for each force you have spent for the action. It costs 2 force to move through an opponent to the other side. You may also spend force to discard and redraw that many cards. Another core concept is gauge. Various effects will tell you to place cards in your gauge on the left instead of discarding them. These gauge cards are spent to pay for various effects, the first of which is taking an action to flip your Exceed card to its powerful side. The boost action lets you play a card here. Purple boosts resolve immediately, but brown ones stay in play until they would resolve. In this case, the next time you hit your opponent. After playing a boost, you may discard 1 card from your gauge to take another action. You may take an action to draw a card, and if you did any action other than strike this round, you may draw another. The final important action is strike, and this is the core of the game. Each player places a card face down and then flips them over. You then check the speed of the card with the highest card resolving first. In the case of a tie, the active player goes first. Resolve any before effects on the card. In this case, we close 3 spaces. Then check the range of the card. If your attack is within that range, you do damage. In this case 2. This counts as a hit, so we get to trigger any hit effects. In this case we draw 3. Because this card was a hit, it goes into our gauge. Some other cards like this one add additional cards to the gauge. If a card has armor on it, like these 2, those negate damage. And if you are struck first in a round and the damage exceeds your guard, you are stunned and your strike is cancelled. Otherwise, the slower player resolves their card just as shown above. And if you play 2 cards with the same name as an attack, that's an X attack, and you get these additional bonuses. Ultra attacks like this one cost a lot of gauge, but have very strong effects. At the end of your turn, your hand can only hold 7 cards, so discard down to that limit. Why would you like this game? I have never played the Guilty Gear video games, but I have played a bunch of other fighting game franchises, and my goodness does Guilty Gear capture the back and forth nature of those games well. There's a bunch of special moves that I didn't have time to cover, like pushes and pulls and jumping over your opponent so they can't hit you. The whole game just feels really dynamic and most importantly, quick and twitchy. It's also the kind of game where, if you have multiple playmats, you can have a small tournament running with players fighting out for supremacy, or just swapping fighters in and out. Guilty Gear is an amazing lunchtime game for 2 people or a small group. Best thing about this game is just how much it feels like an arcade battler. However, the extra action you gain by spending a gauge after placing a bonus is called a cancel, and that really confused me when I read it. Turns out nothing's cancelled, and cancelling is a thing from the video game. The box is also stupidly large and impractical, and despite being that big, the deluxe version stuff really doesn't fit anywhere without disassembling it. For a similar vibe but with dice, try Dice Throne, and for a simpler dueling game, try Star Realms. Guilty Gear. The real Guilty Gear is this box. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.